Hey there, this is the Countryman Sessions, a podcast for artists inside and outside of ministry. You're listening to episode 5, The Old Adam, with Pastor TJ Winters. Sing the song.
Choo, choo, choose, countryman. Choo, choo, choosing for your countryman. Got a question? Just ask him. As long as you don't sass him. Choo, choo, choose, countryman.
This is stupid. I'm not even going to go into it. Let's redo that.
Okay.
Edit point. Hey, everybody. Our guest today is Pastor TJ Winters. TJ is a pastor at a church here in the Houston area. He's a great guy. I've known him for a long, long time. Maybe my oldest friend. We've known each other longer than we haven't. We've lived together a couple times. There, I just said it. Get out ahead of the tabloids, you know? Just own it. So TJ's joining us today. We're going to talk about something that may interest some of you and some of you may just find humorous, which is coming up together and what it was like to cut our teeth, to do life together, and then some advice maybe for the younger generations. How does that sound, TJ?
That sounds great. It's great to be here.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what it is you do now. So we'll kind of go a little bit. We'll jump around in the timeline, but what is it that you say you do here now?
I've got a background in music and technology, and but now I am primarily focused on pastor of worship at a church here in Houston, which includes the worship technology and the technology for the entire ministry.
So our co-producer, Landon Mills, who's also here with us today, also loves things of technology and things like that. You know me, I'm not very computer. I didn't go to school for computer. I don't understand computer all that well.
I know.
But Landon, he nerds out on stuff too. So, you know, that'll be great to have.
I dabble.
Yeah, he's a dabbler.
Yes.
Yep.
So it'll be great to have his insight on this conversation as well. Landon has known both of us for a short amount of time, but has known us the same amount of time because Landon was an intern at the church that we were both working at that time. And when he showed up, I mean, he probably met us on the same day.
Very possible.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I talked to you once while you were there because I didn't work as closely with Adam at that time.
Yeah, and I just kind of hid in his office the whole time. He just kind of hid in his office the whole time. It was well,
that's true. Now,
it was a wild ride.
Did he make you watch any like concerts, artists?
At least 12.
Yeah. Okay. He does that.
I mean, make you watch is
It
a
was
little
it was
aggressive.
it was nice. I mean, it's like,
well, yeah.
you're getting,
It's part of the training.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, for any of you not watching concert films,
Yeah.
you're really missing out. Like, documentary and concert films are the way to go. That's how you figure out things that are good.
Yeah.
I mean,
why don't you list off some of your favorites for us?
well, one of my fondest, okay, was TJ used to have an apartment in St. Louis, and this was I can't remember the timeline exactly, but he lived with a bandmate of ours named Mike, and it wasn't the one that I lived in with you guys. Remember?
We only lived in one with you, although then you left and we had somebody fill your spot.
Now, where did we watch the Spice World movie?
You make me sound like a real estate mogul. Like I've got like an apartment in St. Louis. No.
Where did we watch the Spice World movie?
Our apartment.
No.
Yep. It was your DVD.
No. Anyway, we used to watch Spice World like over and over again.
Oh.
Like 3 or 4 grown men watching Spice World, and the opening scene was so good.
And to be clear, like everybody's thinking right now, gross because they're watching it for the girls. It wasn't. It was the music. It was the comedy. It was pretty funny.
That's what I would say too.
Meatloaf was the bus driver.
Yeah.
In that film.
Oh, wow.
Like the cameos were great, but the whole thing, like you think it starts out with them like in a rehearsal and they're playing, and the keyboard player like makes an obvious and intentional mistake for the comedy's sake, and then she goes, what she says something like, watch yourself, Butterfingers, or something like that, like yells at him for screwing up in the thing. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
That's going to be me.
One of the top quotes comes from that movie for musicians, and it's like after rehearsal, it's like, that was absolutely perfect without actually being any good at all.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
It is.
It's a brilliant movie. So that was one for sure. Some of my other favorites are more serious, would be like Standing in the Shadows of Motown. The
Temptations movie.
The Temptations made-for-TV movie, so good.
Yeah.
David Ruffin, played by Leon, also played Little Richard in the Little Richard story. He doesn't get better than Leon, really. Like, I mean, he is fantastic. Leon, if you're listening, it may have sparked my love of black men.
I'm
really.
sure he is listening.
Yeah, like, I mean, just unbelievable. When he's like, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. I was like, let's go. Yeah. That's it right there. And that baller move where he gives the spotlight guy a 20 spot, so he just turns the spotlight on him, and then he goes, I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, wow. That's so good. Barry Gordy's face.
Yeah.
And it was all true. Not embellished whatsoever for film. All happened live at the Copa, according to eyewitness testimony, I assume. But yeah, those were good. I actually remember a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers, and it was really bad. I went back and watched it not too long ago, and it's pretty terrible as far as like the videography and the movie itself. But the principles of it were so good, and I remember being like, "Yeah, this is hot." Like, it was legit, and it was kind of like they were kind of like an E Street Band kind of deal.
Well, yeah, that song that's in there was confused for being Bruce Springsteen all the time.
Yes, yeah. And I don't remember the song offhand, but yes, it was so good. But anyway, yeah, we used to go to TJ's, one of his many apartments that he owned in St. Louis, and watch that movie over and over and over and over and over again. And now I'm going to have to go watch it this afternoon. So anyway, so you do this now. You oversee technology and worship arts and things like that, creating environments and that. But we didn't used to have all these tools and all these things, and we didn't used to do this full time. So let's jump back now. So just so everybody's clear, TJ's a grown man now at today's day. He has 4 kids and a beautiful wife, and they live here in Texas, and just have 0 problems and issues. It's unbelievable.
Everything's easy ever since moving to Houston.
Everything's
the calm, peaceful, tranquil town.
Well, what with the nature.
That's right.
And all, and the amazing weather. Yeah. So we met for the first time in 1994.
Yep.
And as I remember it, or like to believe the narrative, okay, I don't know if this actually happened, but this is how, when people ask me, I tell them how we met.
Okay.
It was the first day of high school, freshman year. Again, this is just in my mind. And we had a class called 0 Hour, which met at like 6:30 in the morning or something. And that's when the administration of the school thought, that's when jazz bands should meet, at 0 Hour.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. So I had auditioned on bass, and I thought I was amazing, but I was not amazing. And I was like, truth be told, I was probably pretty nervous. But I walk into the multi-purpose room at our high school in St. Louis, 0 Hour, 6:30 in the morning. It's not even light outside, carrying a bass, and TJ was the pianist in the jazz band. And I'm pretty sure, like, you were one of, if not the first, maybe the second person I talked to in that deal.
It could be. I don't remember.
Do you remember the first song that we played in jazz band that day?
I mean, I would have to guess Woodchopper's Ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Take that bass for a walk.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I remember I couldn't read very well, so I kept throwing a 7 in just because that was the form that I was used to.
Oh, yeah. It went up to the... Oh.
But you were doubling it on piano, and I remember us being like, are you reading? You're not reading. Okay.
Yeah.
A bunch of 14-year-old Dorks.
Yeah.
We're doing a version called Ball Chopper's Wood.
You're going to love it.
There's a 7 in there. It'd be great.
Is this the version Ron Carter played? No, this is different. Okay, my bad. Ron Carter would never, ever throw this up. Anyway.
R.I.P.
I don't know. He's alive.
Oh. I was thinking of somebody else. Carter Ron. That's who I was thinking of.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Okay. Carter Ron.
Some wood chopper. You know.
Yeah, he's chopping wood with the Angels now. So that's how we met. We were doing that. TJ, do you remember, like, when did we start doing music outside of jazz band, which was obviously crucial, at 6:30 in the morning, 3 times a week? When did we start, like, doing other music stuff together, or how did that happen?
There's something came up that I believe you were asked, of course, you were asked to play for chapel. And you needed other people to play. So you grabbed the only other musicians you knew in that school, and we played for a chapel.
We played for a chapel.
A chapel in the high school, yeah, for all the students. So it was like student music led by the students. And maybe even a student was teaching at that. And that was in the gym where it was very loud.
Because in that band called The Rock, which we dubbed later, You're All Welcome, it was a little confusing because Jesus is The Rock, but we were called the band The Rock. So people were like, oh, you're Jesus? And we were like, no.
No, we're pointing to Jesus.
Yeah, obviously.
Terrible name.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was a shame.
Yeah.
But it stuck, so we kept it. Because the original drummer of The Rock was a guy named Ryan.
Yep.
But he was the drummer in jazz band.
Right.
And was Mike the guitar player in jazz band?
I don't know if he was our first year, but yes, at some point he was.
So Mike Schmidt was the guitar player in that group as well. So that was the kind of formulation you're saying. It's like, we're doing chapel, let's grab the musicians from the jazz band and we'll play whatever CCM stuff we did.
Really old.
At that time.
Yeah.
And it was in a gymnasium, and it was awkward because there was nobody sitting in the middle of the gym. They were all on risers on the side. So, like, you weren't, like, looking. But the sound system was so bad that we would bring in our own.
Yeah.
And for those of you audiophile nerds out there, as I recall, we had a PV 8-channel powered head that had, like, all the stuff in it.
Yep.
You know, the EQ and the reverb and things. And I think we had a pair of SP2s with Black Widow speakers.
Wow, yeah.
We put them up on sticks. I don't think I knew what a subwoofer was.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a sub.
No.
We were just putting everything through these two 15-inch speakers, filling a gym with 700 kids.
And then I had a PV KB 1000 or 3000 amp.
Yes.
That had like 3 channels and it had some bass. And so it's like bass and keys went into that sometimes.
Yeah. And Mike always had the better equipment, I remember. And then the school drum set, which I wish now I had known anything about drums. Because as I recall, it was like a vintage Slingerling kit. Like with the tiger stripe things, but it wasn't tiger. It wasn't like yellow or whatever color a tiger is. But it was like that print. And man, if I had known anything about it, I would have stolen it for sure and kept it. I don't think they still have it because I looked around when we were there not too long ago looking for it. And I was like, oh, you guys still have that drum? I'm just going to back the car up here and throw some of this stuff in the trunk. But if you're listening, anyone at the school, if you do have that drum set that you don't know what it is, it's not worth anything, and I'm happy to take it off your hands. Yeah. So we started playing then together in high school. We played all through high school. We formed this band, and then we were doing that deal, and we were super cool, and everybody loved us.
Mainly you. We got to tag along. I mean, you said David Ruffin and the Temptations. It was Adam Countryman and the rest of us. It was Adam Countryman's band.
Right.
It was.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And I think that was just my own hubris and my own self-publication of self-promotion.
You got us out of class a lot, so I really didn't care.
That's true. At our high school, you could be tardy 7 times, and then after 7 times, it was $10 a tardy.
Yeah, you had to pay.
So I remember my senior year, the vice principal calling me into his office and him saying, we have a problem with your graduation. And I said, oh, really? And he said, yes. You owe us $3,600. And I was like, okay, well, good luck with that.
Wow. 360.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was cumulative. I don't think it was like just for that year, you know.
Well, no, you'd have to be tardy during summer.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
that's
you
like
could
almost
be,
every day of the year.
if you could be, I was. Well, it was every class.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not just
Yeah, not just like the first time you showed up, but like if you were late to a class,
that
you
was
know.
a tardy.
that was a tardy.
Yeah.
And late to school
Yeah.
certainly was a tardy. So we just struck a deal where we said, well, let's just say that it was for chapel, and then he let me off the hook. And I think it's okay to say that now that he's semi-retired and not doing that anymore.
Yeah, he's not going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So,
The statute of limitations.
yeah, you would think,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, we did get out of class a lot. We did do all those things. But here's the thing I do remember. We took every opportunity to play. Like every opportunity that we could take to play for other people, we took it. So we would set up outside the football field, like on the sidelines of where the sport happens in the middle, and we would play covers of Dude Looks Like a Lady and totally inappropriate songs, but that we just wanted to play. We would play for every basketball game for like 6 seconds at a time. Like the buzzer would go and we would just start playing, and then the buzzer would ring and we'd be like, that's enough. and we would set up as if it was like Lollapalooza. Like we would set up as many speakers as we could. And we knew nothing about like ohm loads and things, and like we'd blow fuses all the time. We were daisy chaining speakers around. We got a subwoofer at some point, but I don't think we even knew how to use it. We just treated it like another speaker, and we're like, that'll do it. And like we would go and buy microphone. Like I remember buying my first kick drum microphone, but not having subwoofers or anything, you know. So you'd use it, and it would just sound like a cardboard box. Anyway, it's like, what was the point of this? But we would do that. We would play they had these choir concerts, and we would set up a side stage and play like before and after, like just so much work. We would go to the grade schools that fed the high school and play for their chapels and do that. And one of my fondest memories of growing up and doing high school was waking everybody up at 4 a.m. and doing that. There was one night we all stayed together, right?
Oh, yeah. Multiple nights we all stayed together. Sometimes you didn't, but multiple nights we did. But that was part of it. Like, that was the thing of you treat it as if, like, this is the most important thing you're going to do. And that if that means getting up at 4 a.m., if that means spending the night first, if that means no sleep, if that means hitting coffee and all the things you need to do, like, that's what we did. And it drove it. And it almost created, like, we created our own reality, right? Like, we were so confident in what we could do and how good we were, but we were so naive to even, like, know that we weren't that good at all. But we acted like we were, and then it created this reality and an expectation that people would want us to play, and we're going to make it the best we can, and it was terrible, but then nobody else thought it was terrible, or they didn't say that it was terrible, and then they asked us to do other things. So, like, taking it so seriously was a big deal, and that was part of it.
Yeah, and we did take it seriously. Yeah. All right, so we get through high school, and now we're coming up on the 2000s-ish time. TJ and I got an apartment together, his first of many apartments, and it was apartment F. And I remember that. And I remember when we went and got the apartment, we were like, this is so cool. We're a bunch of 18-year-olds living in this apartment. How cool is this? And I was like, this is so cheap. Life is cheap. What has everybody been talking about?
Uh-huh.
Come to find out, the apartment complex was a Section 8 housing subsidized apartment, which was unclear in our application process.
It wasn't in a bad part of town.
No.
And we didn't get any of that benefit, but the benefit was we lived in very cheap apartments.
Yeah, it was very inexpensive. I think we paid less because we were on the third floor.
We were.
And I remember we had a game where we would take the silverware out. Maybe it was just me, but you take the silverware out of the the drawer, and we would throw spoons at the basketball hoop in the parking lot
Yep.
and try and get it because we had like a little balcony because we were baller. And throw the spoons at the thing.
And then we ran out of spoons, and we tried to like get the forks to land in the ground 3 floors down.
Yeah. To be fair, I was drinking a lot at the time. And so I feel like that should be justification for all of these shenanigans.
Yeah.
I do remember it being very cold one night. And I tell the story, although I don't think it couldn't have happened this way. But I passed out on the porch or fell asleep on the porch, and it snowed on me, and you woke me up.
That sounds right.
Something like that happened, and like it was snowing. I was like, oh no, like I would have died, had TJ not come out and save my life. So, and that's why we've been close.
Mm-hmm.
Around that time, I remember there was a karaoke night at a bar, at a Mexican restaurant or bar. And the thing about this is that I have always looked older than I am, although I'm quickly catching up.
You're catching up, and you look younger now than you did like 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
You look younger now than the pictures I've seen of you in high school.
Yeah. So this was right out of high school.
Yeah.
Maybe at my absolute worst, like where you're like, that guy's going to die. Like he's dead now, right?
Yeah.
You see a picture and you're like, he didn't live that. Is this from his funeral slideshow? Oh, very nice. They're playing a Coldplay song behind it now or something.
In the arms of...
Boy, your slideshow is going to be very long because I have a ton of pictures of you.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was around that time, and I was able to just kind of go into bars or, go buy beer or whatever because nobody questioned it because they're like, well, obviously you've lived a very hard life, so feel free, come on in. And I remember singing a Huey Lewis song at this Mexican restaurant, and I also remember that was the night that we snuck in a couple people through the back door of this place, and that's when you met what would become your future wife.
Yeah, and my current wife.
Yes, future back then, current still to this day.
That's right.
Rachel came to that gig and to that hangout.
Yeah, it wasn't a gig.
It was a gig for me.
Everything's a gig for you.
I was doing Huey Lewis power. I was like, come listen to me sing karaoke. It's got just pay me whatever you can. It's gonna be great.
It was great. Your parents' credit card was very helpful for those times.
Yes. Well, yeah. Mom, if you're listening to this, you didn't hear that. So that's when you met Rachel. You ended up getting married. And we're going to fast forward a little bit. We did a lot of great things there. We treated every gig like it was huge. And then we did this thing. And now life kind of is like, oh, we're getting to be in our 20s. We're almost 20. We probably ought to start thinking about, other things. Mm-hmm. I believe you were working at Circuit City at the time. Is that correct?
At some point, yeah.
Tell us about what that was like. What kind of what was the khaki color that was necessary to work at Circuit City? Tell people what Circuit City was.
Circuit City was old Best Buy, except they worked on commission. So you actually got to try to sell technology. So it was a good job. It was nice.
What was it? At what point did you transition from that to being a FedEx driver?
So that was desperation. I quit Circuit City without a plan, and I needed money, so I decided to go for longer hours, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day for very, very measly pay.
That doesn't seem legal.
I know.
5 a.m. to 9 p.m.? But that was partially because you were bad at it, right?
No, it was a heavy route. I wasn't bad at it. I did a decent job, but it wasn't worth it. Here's the thing. The Circuit City thing prepped me for hard work and working many 12-hour shifts, having to just do it, and also fight for your own money because it's commission. So to have grit and work hard. FedEx showed me I do not want to do blue-collar work or physical labor all my life. That was 3 months in the St. Louis summer in the back of a FedEx truck, which, in the back of the truck, 115, 120 degrees. That showed me that I did not want to do hard labor all my life. I'd rather work with my brain.
Yeah. So what happened?
Still trying to get there. Still trying.
I had to use my brain. I remember that the Circuit City was across the street from the Guitar Center. Mm-hmm. And that's what I loved about you working at Circuit City was that I could come see you, but I could also go to Guitar Center.
Yeah.
This was back when Guitar Center was killing it.
I was just about to ask, was Guitar Center like actually something at some point?
Man, when they opened up Guitar Center, I remember being like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we had some really good guitar shops and music stores in St. Louis, most of which, ironically, were probably driven out of business by Guitar Center.
Yeah.
But they were incredible. And they weren't necessarily like close. Like, we lived in South County, and Guitar Center opening up in South County was like a big deal because all the really good guitar shops were up north.
Yeah.
And so you had to like plan a thing to go to those guitar shops. Dale's was up there, which was amazing. Fazio's, McMurray music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there were so many that were great. And there was a little folk guitar place that was like in Soulard maybe or something that was like, back then I remember going in and them just looking at you going like, don't touch anything. Because like everything was $5,000 and up. Like it was crazy. So still in and around that time we were doing some music stuff. We were playing a bunch of church services. We did the youth gathering in
98
and
2001
and 01.
I was 1 and 4, respectively.
Shut up. I was 1. So you weren't there. That's what you're saying, Landon?
No, I didn't catch that particular gig.
At least you were born in the previous century, millennium.
Yes.
Yeah, at least
there's
you have
not
that.
a 2 at the beginning of my birth year.
Yeah,
which I'm very proud of.
That's cool.
Yeah, the 90s was a great time to grow up. We had a lot of great music and a lot of like wide variety of music exposure. We grew up in the Midwest, so we were still stuck. We thought it was 1985, but you know, you could go find other music if you wanted to.
We tried.
Yeah. Then there was a season where we kind of did our own thing, right? Like I went off to school reluctantly. You started doing what? Like this was like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I was starting to grow up a little bit. Rachel and I were dating, getting more serious, and then I had like real job. I was worked for a bank, and tried to do that, and
Working with your mind at the bank.
working with my mind. Yeah, wasn't shipping boxes, and but then like we're moving in that direction. But I'm this guy that, especially back then, like I did not have a plan. I wasn't like, okay, by this, I'm going to have this much saved up by this day, and then we're going to get married, and this is how it's going to look. It was like kind of going with what life gave me and what God led me in. And because then I got a phone call from you that we had talked, but like, you're like, hey, I'm going to move to San Antonio and work at this church. I'd love it if you and Rachel would like move down here and volunteer in the church.
What a big ask.
I know. I'm like, great idea. Let's get married and move down there.
Why don't you uproot your life?
So that's what we did.
That's amazing. Yeah. So in 04, that was 04, right?
Yeah.
When I moved to San Antonio. Yeah, I remember you guys coming down and visiting.
Yeah.
And that was the first job where they were like, because I knew, I had called you, like, and I was just telling this story the other day about like, I would get lost in Boston and call you to look at Google Maps to tell me where to go. Mm-hmm. Like you were my original GPS.
Right.
And in a very, esoterical way, you have been my GPS all along.
Aww.
In life and morality. But yeah, I remember having to call you and be like, I'm at first and first. I don't know where I am. And like you having to like guide me.
I'm like, well, let me get the dial up going and I'll get on there and show you where to go.
But I used to call you like all the time. Like when my dad had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I remember that was in 04.
Right.
And I remember calling you because you weren't yet in San Antonio.
No, that was a week before my wedding.
That's right. Yeah. And I was in Los Angeles doing a recording session.
Yeah.
And I remember calling you and being like, I need a flight from LA to San Antonio tomorrow. Here's the credit card number. Can you just book this for me? Because I was trying to like get back and do all this. And you were like, yep, no problem. And then I called another buddy and I was like, hey, I need a ride to the airport tomorrow morning. And he was like, I'm out part. And I was like, no, you got to drop it. Like, come do this. And he was like, okay. And it's a great testament to like surrounding yourself with good people who will do things.
Mm-hmm.
that you need them to do when it matters the most. And so I was always appreciative of that.
But that, in part, is because that's who you are. Like, that's who you are to everybody. I'm sure Landon can attest to this too. You will drop anything for anybody at any time to go help and be a support. And like, you'd give me your credit card to book my own flight if that was my situation reversed. You'd be like, here's my credit card. Just go see your dad. Like, that's who you are.
But I think it's like the chicken or the egg, right? Like, I want people like that in my life, so I'm going to be that as much as I can for everybody else, and try and just make that thing go, you know?
Yeah.
When I say call me if you need anything, I mean it.
You do.
If I miss the call, it creates a lot of weird voicemails of people being like, you said to call you if I need it. Now you don't pick up the phone.
You were there for me a few weeks ago. We had a medical issue with a neighbor late at night, and you answered a text. Like, I didn't expect you to be up, so that's why I didn't call, and I didn't need something from you specifically. Otherwise, I would have called you, but I texted just in case, and you were there. And you're like, yep, you gave me the contact of what I needed right away.
Yeah, real friends are those friends that will answer the phone at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
or drive out and pick you up when your car breaks down, even if it's hours away. Or
Which you've done for me and my family.
So then, so just to jump, to that. So you come down to San Antonio. You guys are just thinking, hey, we're going to move. We're going to make life down here. And you end up getting hired on in IT, right? Was that the gig?
Yeah, tech support, like for the church that you were working for. We went down to visit and to look for apartments and then even interview with the bank. And while we were there, the church said, hey, we need a tech support person and support staff. And so Rachel and I interviewed at the church, and then we both got those jobs and decided I'd rather do that than the bank, for sure. So.
Which is amazing from my point of view, because you were a great keyboardist and singer, and your wife was a great singer. So for me, running the music ministry at this church, I was like, excellent. Part of your duties are to be my friends and to play this music.
Our pleasure.
So that was unbelievable. Now you now have 4 kids. You have this great family, and I want to talk when we come back from a break. I want to talk about just kind of the balance of that, and then where you ended up, to this point in time in ministry and things that are happening. So think about all those things and about how you owe me for all that. And then we'll talk about that when we come back.
I will.
Hey there, boys and girls, it's your pal Lou again. Let me ask you, are you still schlepping? Do you struggle to carry groceries, housewares, or other various paraphernalia? Have you experienced the deep and abiding despair of watching your possessions tumble out of a torn paper bag to the cold pavement below? I know I sure have. Just yesterday. There must be a better way. Good news, there is. Introducing the Schlepp No More, the premium carry-all bag. The Schlepp No More is so vast, it can hold a sweater and another sweater for whatever schlemiel forgot theirs. Witness the sheer carrying capacity. Stop for one thing and come out with 12. It's not just a bag, it's a commodity, an asset. So order yours today for the low price of $3.99.99, because someday someone's going to ask, does anyone have a bag? And you can say, no, I schlepp no more. Good yontif.
When you pull up to a gas station, you're like, oh, I got to get gas. And so you go up there, right? And then you're like, okay. And there's a couple other cars. So you're pulling around. You're always facing the wrong way. Your gas tank's always on the wrong side. So you have to circle around, and then you have to go into the other, coming from the other way. I don't understand why sometimes there's a yellow sack over the nozzle, right? Like, oh, we're out of gas, or this pump is broken. But there's no way to see that until you're already at that spot. Like, put up a sign. We need like lit signs that say like, don't pull in this way. Like, I already circled the lot once. I came around. This guy cut me off. Now I'm finally at the pump. I hit the little button to open my gas tank, and I go, oh crap, now it's covered. So then you have to go to the other one. It's almost as frustrating as the ones where you get out to put your credit card in and it's like, sorry, see cashier. And you're like, I'm not seeing a cashier. I will go to a different gas station, pay twice as much if I don't have to go see the lady who's working inside, who's chosen this as her life's work to go stand inside the Valero and take my order, for cigarettes and gasoline. Like, I'm not doing it. But the yellow sack, like, hang a flag, like at the beach, they put a flag up. Put a flag up. I don't care what it has to be, but don't let me get there and then see, oh, this is the best system we have. Really, we have electronic gas pumps that give us commercials while we're going and standing there, but we are forced to listen to gas station TV, but they can't figure out a better way other than a yellow sack to tell us that they're out of fuel. This seems absurd. And this is why I think New Jersey has it down. No gas station TV. A guy comes out and pumps your gas by law. I don't know what union boss is running that racket up there, but that's the way to do it. And I don't even think you have to tip those guys. It's just included in the taxes. So let's go, New Jersey. You got one thing right. Nope, two. You had that and Bon Jovi. So TJ, tell us now, you're working at a church. It's the mid-2000s, and you decide, along with your beautiful wife, hey, it's time to start a family. Like, was that a conscious decision, or was it just like, here we go, whoops? How did that happen?
Wow. I've never been asked it in quite that way. We decided we were ready to start having kids, and so we started having kids, and we were on the younger side, like at least compared to a lot of our friends. Some didn't start till way later. And so having our first child when I was 26, she was 23, not knowing what we're doing. We had no idea what we were doing. Nobody ever does, right?
Are you talking about the raising of the child or the making of the child?
I'm talking about the raising of the child.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't know it worked, whatever it was. I mean,
Yeah,
right,
no.
So the raising of the child.
Raising of the child, yeah. Starting with the daughter was really fun, and then we had a second daughter, and then two boys, yeah.
And then two boys. Were you rooting for boys or girls, or were you like, we don't care what it is as long as they're healthy? But in your back of your mind, you were like, come on, I'll be a boy.
No, I did. For the first couple, I didn't care. And then I was like, it'd be nice to have a boy. After having two girls, like, that'd be kind of cool. Try that out. And it was great.
Yeah, because the girls were first.
Girls are different because you get to dote on them as daddy, right? It's
right.
like you get to play princess and get dressed up by them and give them some tea and be sweet and fun, where the boys are different often and are rowdy and want to wrestle.
A little fun fact, Savannah, TJ's oldest, was born while you and Rachel were living with me. We were living together at the time.
That that's our, what was it, third time something? That was our second time, but one of the three. But see, that goes to your generosity, because we were friends for a long time, and ended up that we sold a home, and we were waiting on we were building a home, because I'm a real estate mogul, and so we were
to add on to your numerous apartments in the Midwest.
We were building a home, and they were delayed, as they always are. So it was like a 6-month in between time, and you had a house with two other guys, and you said, hey, I'll give up the master bedroom and go live in the dining room, and you gave it to us, which was amazing. And so we lived with you again for like 6 months when Savannah was born.
It was like camping for me.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was fun.
I loved it. I mean, I loved the fact that Savannah, and I think that's why Savannah will always have kind of a little, she was the first of all of our friends to have, you were the first of all of our friends to have kids.
Right.
And she was so special to us because she was there. Like, I mean, she showed up, and it was like in this house with these other guys. It was
crazy.
Yeah. We jokingly called the house the commune, which I think has a lot of weird implications, but it was just really fun. Yeah. At least for me.
No, it was a blast. It was great because, even though we were a young married couple, and I would never advise, like, once you get married, just move in with friends. Like, I don't know that that's the best, but for a short time period for a need, it worked out great. And what was awesome is that you guys really took care of Rachel. So one of the other roommates, Kyle, was always, he'd text at night or call and be like, hey, I'm coming home after work. It's 9:00. I'm bringing steak. Who's hungry? You know, and like grilling at night and serving my wife and me. And that was really cool. It was a great time.
And because I was living in the living room, it was fun when y'all would get up in the middle of the night because I could get up and, I got to hold the baby.
Oh, yeah, you did. And we watched Mama's Family at 2 a.m. while we're trying to put my daughter back to sleep.
Yeah, if you don't know Mama's Family,
oh man,
you are missing out.
Get it.
And ironically, like I look back on that and I'm like, Vicki Lawrence was old and she was not old.
She was not.
But man, that show was amazing.
Some of the best humor out there.
I met Bubba in real life once.
That's right, you did. Alan Kaiser.
Yeah. Of the Kaiser snack food fame.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Of course.
I learned later.
Yeah.
But I thought he'd live in a mansion. He did not.
I doubt it.
He did not.
Mama's Family wasn't a big payout.
It was a suburb of Kansas City where I saw him across the street from my aunt's house. Anyway, so now you're doing this thing. At what point in your life and career did you go, I think I want to be a pastor? Because it seems like a weird thing, right? Like you've always been a musician. You've always played music. Music's always played this part in your life. You grew up. We were kind of all doing this path. Then everybody kind of splits off. You formed this beautiful family. You're now working in technology stuff for a church. At what point were you like, I'm going to be a pastor?
At that point, I was also a worship leader, worship director, and I just felt God's calling in my life. I felt a desire to. I had a lot to say. I felt this desire to like teach and preach the word to people and to know more about theology and to just dive deeper. And I kept feeling it. And that was a question that was asked at my interview to go into seminary. They said, why do you want to be a pastor? And I said, I don't know if I want to be. I feel like I should be. And it just went from there. And so did seminary track and was able to do ministry at the same time and then pour into my family. And it's been a different route than the traditional route, but it's gone great.
Has that changed how you approach it, as you becoming a pastor? Has that changed your approach to things like worship technology, things like worship music? Do you have like a different? Obviously, you'd have to have some kind of different lens on it. But like, does it change just the whole idea of those things? Like, have you shifted your execution of technology in worship, or what's necessary, what's good?
Yeah, I mean, what it shifted was showing me that as reading through Scripture, reading through the Confessions, like we have a desire for a lot of things to be our way, and sometimes we make those things the way. Like we say that this is how it has to be done. And what it did is really, it made me understand the truth of what God calls us to do, and that's to preach the gospel, administer the sacraments. Like those are the things. And there's principles, and then there's methods. And so our theology is like the principle, like that we're never compromising on that. We're staying true to the Word of God. We're staying true to the confessions that we adhere to. The methods, there's a lot of room there to do it whatever best serves your context. And all the people who are saying it has to be one way, it has to be one method, are really fooling themselves.
Yeah. On a practical level, when it comes to worship music and worship services, environments, but also just in general with music, and because you use a lot of the technology. We did a concert last year together, and you used some programs and software-based things that help music, right? Like MainStage. Mm-hmm. You're fluent in ProPresenter and all these...
Ableton Live.
Ableton, thank you.
Yeah.
I obviously could care less about those things.
Right.
But where do you see the state of music, worship music, but also just music in general, with all these things at our disposal now? Auto-Tune Live, Waves plugins for live scenarios, all these things. As somebody with a foot in both worlds, music and technology, like what kind of things would you say to people who are like, I'm going to implement all these things? What are some of the warning things that you can offer or things, you've been doing this like since they came out, right? So it's not like you're brand new to it and this is just the way it's done. You've had to implement and decide what to use and what not to use.
Right. I think there was, for a long time, we kept solving problems with technology. How do we not run, 100 channel snake across the building? Well, let's do 2 Ethernet cables or whatever, right? We solved those problems. But then we also created a bunch of other problems by doing that. So now we don't have this problem. Now we have this problem instead. And sometimes the technological problems are more difficult to solve, and they're more confusing, and they don't make sense, and there's other variables that you don't even know to look for. And so I think there's like, this is probably like old man talk, because it's like, I think we did great for a while and got to a good place, and then we just kept trying to do more and more, and we should have just stopped the bus right there and be like, we're good. Okay, main stage is fine, an electronic keyboard's fine, great. Let's just use those things. Let's not up it even more. Like you were talking on a previous episode about surround sound in your ears. Like,
yeah,
that's cool. And I'm the first guy to go like, check out this cool thing. But at some point there's diminishing returns. And at some point you're overstretching yourself and your people and your focus, and you're now trying to troubleshoot why you don't have surround sound in your ears instead of just running rehearsal. Right. And so I've been on both sides of that. I've been the guy that's like pushing for the new cool thing. And I've been the guy who's been like, nah, we're good. We don't need another thing. People were trying to push like having your phone be your mixer for your monitor because it can wirelessly connect to the soundboard. In theory, that's cool, except when it doesn't connect. And you got to tell everybody the IP address again. And then the Wi-Fi's down. Like, you just create more problems by trying to techify everything.
Yeah, and as a guy whose primary role is usually like music director or worship leader or whatever, the technology always seems to be the thing that's slowing us down.
Yeah.
This isn't working. You and I have talked ad nauseum about the phrase, it should be working. Right. Like, I can't stand it should be working. I don't understand why it's not. And I'm like, just unplug it. And we'll plug this 1/4-inch cord, which we've been using since World War II, right into the back of the thing, and it will work. Mm-hmm. These hidden networks and, trusting space robots is driving me crazy. I can't,
Yeah.
I mean, the benefits are there, certainly, but, at what point do you think a musician or a tech director or church leader, in any category goes, I think this is good for now. Is there a process to implementing new technologies like that we should be adhering to? Like, should it be done slowly? Can it be done slowly? Or does it have to be like all at once we're changing over to these different systems?
Some of them have to be because they pair with one another, like new in-ears with the new soundboard or whatever. I think the reason you need to have a reason to do it. Like, why are we doing this? Why? Oh, because it really solves this problem that's a pain point. Okay, that may make sense. Is it just because it got released and it's a new update and you're just like, it's got this one feature and you're dying to try it? Like, is there a need?
And everybody's doing it?
Right. Like, we keep our production machines, a year behind on the major software update, like the main Mac operating system. We keep those roughly a year behind. I'll give it a little bit. Sometimes it's less than that. It depends on the issue. And if there's a problem, I need to do it. There's a reason now, and I'll upgrade. But there's no need to upgrade to the latest version of stuff immediately. And that should be the methodology for everything. There's no need to get a whole new system, or there's no need to add all these features that are just going to create complexity unless you need to. Or you experiment with them in like a sandboxed environment that's safe and doesn't mess with your Sunday morning. Because this is a great way that you've led in this too, Adam, is that you should be able to be up there and lead by yourself. And often the technology ends up being a crutch, where, especially like with stems. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm a terrible musician. I'm a terrible guitar player. I'm a terrible vocalist, but I've got Elevation Church playing my music, so it's going to sound amazing. But if that dies, it's going to be me hitting a snare drum, with a beanbag, and it's going to sound terrible.
Hitting a snare drum with a beanbag. That's good.
Yeah, like...
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, you should. So like we end up we can be as good as them by adding all this tech, but it just creates more problems ultimately. It rarely is successful.
I think it becoming a crutch is really interesting because if we go back to when we were coming up, just to bring this full circle. Like, we didn't have any of that. Like, there was no digital anything, first of all. We used real maps with, like, paper, and you folded it, and the roads were written on it, right?
Yep.
And same thing with technology. Like, you plugged it into here because that's how it got from here to here. And if the cord wasn't long enough, you just had to get a longer cord.
Right. And if it didn't work, it's probably the cord.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Yeah. And sometimes just channels died, and you'd be like, don't use channel 7.
That's right.
Channel 7's broken. All right, well, go to channel 8. It wasn't like, well, go into the I/O, and you can select the different ports for the thing. No, oh, hello. It wasn't like anything fancy, but it always worked. And that was the thing that was crazy to me, is like, it always worked, and if it didn't work, you knew why. You could find a workaround. We had to. You were only as good as you were, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Your musicality, it was not helped by anything else.
No.
That was it.
No.
There wasn't plugins on the soundboard to make you sound better. You had to, like, be a self-compressor.
Right.
You had to know how to use microphone technique. You had to figure out. We learned about frequencies and stuff by it feeding back and going like, I wonder why it's feeding back.
Right.
So all of those things, I think, just made us, it used to be that you had to do all that, and you were a little more well-rounded, and oftentimes you became a better musician, a better troubleshooter than what we see today in some of these guys coming up. Is there's all this reliance on the technology pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, if I don't have these pads behind me, or if I don't have this and this, then it just doesn't sound as good. It's like, well, you can make it sound better, you yourself. Like, that work ethic that I think we implemented back in the day of, like, you talked about this earlier in the episode, is treat every gig like it's a huge deal, and it will become a huge deal. Like,
right.
You want it to be the best that it can be. You need to strive toward it. Apathy didn't have any role in anything we did when we were coming up. And it was so unnecessary for the event themselves.
Right.
But for us to learn and grow and troubleshoot and try and expand, I just remember, like, I never would have known about setting up platform risers. Like, nobody's going to teach you that.
Yeah.
But we were like, well, if we're on the floor, you can't see us. So we found some platform risers, and we're like, yeah, these are great. No OSHA approved anything would have allowed us to use them. They were probably from, like, the 60s.
Yeah, you couldn't move, but
Yeah, you couldn't, like, move around on them.
Yeah.
But they elevated you.
they didn't fall.
We had spotlights that, we'd move with a piano because the wheels were broken on the dolly. So you just put the spotlight on top of a grand piano and shove the piano. And then, you could stand on it, and now you've got a spotlight. You're trying to figure out how it's work. All those things, I think, just helped us. And I mourn that for a lot of the kids coming up. And again, back to this is like an old man point, is like, they're not going to necessarily have those experiences because everything's so different now.
They're all computers now. Like, everything's a computer. If it's got an IP address or network connection, it's a computer. So you have to have some of those computer skills, which not everybody does.
Right.
And you need somebody to do it for you. So now you've doubled your employee need or whatever. Like, it's a huge cost to add all this stuff. And again, I think there's a line. There's a point of diminishing returns. Yes, I want to be able to press a button and turn on all the lights. It'd be nice to control them remotely. But what I don't need is a bunch of lasers and then a whole nother soundboard or lighting board, and a whole nother, like, at some point you're going too far just because you can. And just
Right.
because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. And not that I haven't been guilty of that, or you haven't been guilty of that.
I'm very guilty of that. I've learned it. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like, I used to build my own computers working at Circuit City. I loved it. Oh, give me this new thing. Oh, look at this. Oh, why isn't it working? And now I'm like, I just want it to work. Just give me a computer from a store that'll work.
Right.
Great, it works. That's all I care about. I don't care what the speed of anything is. Just, does it work for me? Great.
Yeah. And I think if you had to give advice, so you've had all these experiences. You're a dad, you're a musician, you're a pastor, you're a tech guru, you're all these things. Like, if you had to give advice to somebody that was coming up that was like, I'm going to be a musician, and that was what they thought their path was.
Don't.
Well, yeah. Oh, you want to be poor? Or if they were like, I want to do worship arts ministry, or I want to do this. Like, what's the main principle that you can pull from like our upbringing and our time together? Like, what advice do you give, to these guys and gals who are coming up?
Yeah, I mean, in a ministry-specific context, first of all, I think the work ethic is vital. Like, you've got to have that. You've got to take things seriously. You have to care about what you're doing. But in ministry specifically, it's really easy to say like, oh, I work for the Lord, so I can just sacrifice my family. It's fine because it's for church. Oh, sorry, I can't be home again. It's for church.
It's a noble cause.
Yeah, in your mind. But what you end up doing is, like the phrase is, you're sacrificing your family on the altar of ministry. The idea being that like you're prioritizing and you're pouring in to the job, confusing it for God, and then neglecting your family. And just because it's a church doesn't mean it's God in the same way. Like, yes, it's a calling. Yes, it's a ministry. And there's absolutely going to be emergencies and things that pop up that you're going to need to attend to. But I think it's important for the majority of the time that you can, when you actually can control it, is to prioritize your family, your wife, your spouse, whatever, and your kids, and being present for them when you can, because there'll be times you can't. And I wasn't always great at that. And I'm sure I'm still not great at that sometimes, but I've refocused my life to keep that in mind, to not always say, well, no, I have to stay late. No, I have to do this. Like, I'm the only one who can pour into my wife. I'm the only dad my kids have. Like, and they go. So our oldest is 20, our youngest is 10. So I'm not reading books to my 20-year-old anymore, right? But I can still do that to my 10-year-old if he asks. So I'm going to do that when I can, and not say like, I've got work to do instead.
Yeah.
That time is fleeting. And so it's important to prioritize the people in your life.
Well, you and Rachel have been great examples to Alyssa and I, as we look at, just doing life, being married, being parents, and all those things that you guys have always been there for us and given advice, and ultimately just been a great example. So I think you're doing a great job at that, for what it's worth. I know it's never, you never figure out, oh, we made it, or this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
But I always often say to my wife, I'm like, well, at least they're doing it first. We can figure this out because they're doing it first, and we'll try and learn from whatever they're doing. And I love the fact that I can text with Savannah, your oldest, now, and she's getting older, and we can talk about things as adults, and it's been awesome. And we love your family. I think the advice that you give is great advice there in the ministry aspect. I would also just add, keep at it. Just anything you're doing, you're going to fail over and over again as you're coming up. But just keep valuing it. Don't let apathy set in. If you're a musician and you want to be a bass player, or you want to be a pianist, or you want to be go for it.
Yeah.
I was reminded a while back that like people always talk about the rhythm of life, have a good rhythm to your life. And I just don't know that that's a reality. I think there are seasons in life where you're going to be doing more for your craft or for your preparation in life. And then there are seasons where you're not going to practice at all. You're just going to show up and do the gig. Or you're going to, spend the month of December living at the church. So in November, try and be home.
Exactly. So if I'm making those deposits all throughout the rest of the year when I can.
Back to your banking days.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
If you're making those emotional and relational deposits when you can, then when you can't, it doesn't feel as bad. It doesn't feel like a worse of what it's been.
Yeah.
So,
man, well, this has been really great to have you on and to reminisce. Is there any, before we go, is there any crazy story that you remember that you think people would benefit from laughing at me at, or yourself? Because one of the things that I remember, one of the stories I always tell is like we're driving in the car, and the trunk opening up at the car in front of me because it was your car. No, it was Mike's car, and the trunk. There's the release inside in case you get kidnapped.
Right.
So you pull the kidnap switch, and then he's like there. We're driving down the road, and he's chucking things out the back of the trunk onto my car.
Yeah.
Like on the road, not like in a parking lot, like driving 40 miles an hour down a road, and some guy just pops out of the trunk in front of you and chucks something at your car. You're like, this is so dangerous. Well, if our kids did that now, we'd be like, you're never driving again.
License gone. I mean, I would sit at stoplights if we were behind one another, like we'd bump each other's cars. Or I'd push up against his car and then rev my engine to stoplight and lift up his back end.
Yeah, what were we, nuts?
Very. I was so stupid. Still am. And then we had like the biggest show of our life last year, and he was sick.
The biggest show of our lives. This is what it's all led to. Going back to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you call it that? The biggest show of our life?
No, it was called Luso-Palooza.
Oh. It wasn't our choice.
Yeah, it wasn't our... That's not our branding.
Yeah, it's not our... Yeah.
But, it's the Midwest. I think everything's great, apparently.
What else? I mean, we got stuck on a bridge in Dallas, like in an RV, and it was in the middle of the summer, and it was, 110 outside, and like we were waiting on a tow truck for an hour and a half. And
the brakes melted on the RV.
Ooh.
The brake pads. It was that hot, and the brake pads were that crappy.
Yeah.
But we were towing a trailer. And I don't necessarily think we were supposed to be towing
probably not.
A trailer.
Yeah.
At least not that trailer that was that heavy. I don't really know how that came about. I remember that the RV was infested with ants. And I remember the brake pads melting and us like driving through safety cones to stop kind of during rush hour, and cops coming up being like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "Can't stop." You just have to slowly slow down. It was like all in slow motion.
Adam was always dad on every trip. So like he would drive, he was in charge, he let us know if we could have a soda, like everything. Always dad.
So the cop's advice was pull up to the top of this overpass and sit there and wait until night falls and the brake pads cool off.
And night falls and traffic is less, and then they could get... Yeah.
And then you can kind of ease off into the thing, you know. So we waited. I don't think we waited till nightfall, but we were like, we've waited long enough. Like this bridge it was so shaky because you're just on a huge flyover.
Yeah.
And we're just this RV on the side of this overpass.
Yeah.
Some of the guys stripped down to their boxers.
Yeah, because it was so hot.
Because it was so hot. And they were just like doing dances on the side of the overpass like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I was furious at the whole situation.
Yeah.
The sound guy kept poking me, like just trying to get me upset. And it was like it was the beginning of Adam rants, probably. It was the beginning rants, of me just screaming about stuff that angered me.
I have the first one on video.
That's incredible. We should get audio of that, or just post the audio to the Facebook page, or
subscribe
YouTube.
to Patreon for $1,000 a month, and you can have the first ever recorded Countryman rant.
I like it.
Oh, you know what? That's a great incentive. Yeah. You know what? We'll even do it at the 500 mark.
And that's a bargain. I mean, that's a real low ball offer.
You're not going to want to miss this. We've got all kinds of behind the scenes footage. But we started going again. I remember pulling off and going like, okay, let's do it. And we were like, we said a prayer and pulled off into traffic and immediately realized there's still no brakes. And we're like, no! So we just coasted down the first ramp and then like honked the horn, turned on the flashers, didn't stop at the light, and turned and ended up in a Dave & Buster's parking lot. We were like, let's go eat. And so we all just left the RV in the parking lot and went in and had beer and wings. And
yeah, that was, and then with that same RV, with that same trailer, we were at the youth gathering. So I guess it was 2001.
Oh my gosh.
And we took a left turn somewhere we shouldn't have. And we were like at a dock, a boat dock or whatever.
The ferry.
The ferry, that's what it was. And we couldn't get out. And so we had to back up the trailer and the RV in this dead end.
Because they were like, you can't take this on the ferry. And we were like, okay, we didn't mean to. And they were like, well, back up out of here. I don't know how to back up a trailer.
An RV with a trailer hooked. We're all outside. One of them's filming it.
We're backing it up, and it jackknives.
Of course.
And so what ends up happening is 4 of us unhooking the trailer and walking the trailer down the street to get out of the thing. It was absurd.
Yeah.
And people are like, I got to get to work or get home or whatever. And we're like, sorry. The ferry's probably leaving. We're blocking all this traffic.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Man.
Yeah. Try not to. That's how we learned, what we could and shouldn't do. But there was a lot of hard lessons.
One of the things that comes to mind is like we had a gig, like you mentioned, we had sound systems and it was all your stuff mainly. We had to load it in and out all the time. There was one gig in particular, like it was a lot to load in, and somehow like your back got hurt really bad and you just sat on the curb while we all hauled everything in and out. But you were fine to play. Like you stood up, played, led, but you just couldn't load and unload because your back hurt. I don't know about that. I've always wondered.
It's from sleeping out in the snow all night.
Yeah, was it around this
Might have been.
time?
Yeah, might have been. Might have been a late night.
So learn how to fake a back injury.
That's right.
It may come in useful one day. I think that's great, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time out to do this. Love you.
Love you anytime.
Your family. And
we love your family. Yeah.
We'll have you back sometime soon. Yeah? All right. Hey, thank you all for listening today. Remember to follow the Countryman Sessions on all the socials. I know Pastor TJ is all over that. He's signed up on every platform and every social media thing. He's a top fan.
I love the likes.
Gotta love the likes.
I need them.
And, we would value and totally appreciate your support on the Patreon page, patreon.com/The Countryman Sessions. There's some benefits that come with those tiers, so sign up there as well. And we'll see you next time here on The Countryman Sessions.
Choo, choo, choose countryman. Choo, choo, choosing for your countryman. Got a question? Just ask him. As long as you don't sass him.